For number 11, I understand that you wouldn't be able to use your calculator, but something to think about here is that the graph looks like this. And again, I understand that you can't use your graphing calculator. Basically, because of that kink at 0, it's not differentiable at 2. The answer is, or excuse me, it's got a kink at 0, but they're talking about x equals 2. But at 2, what they're talking about is, if you think about it, if you did basically a derivative of absolute value of x minus 2. Because of this, what this means is you're doing square root of x minus 2, or you're doing the square root of 2 minus x. That's essentially what that means. Regardless, if you derive this, what you're going to get is you're going to get x minus 2 to the 1/2. You're going to put 1/2 in front, right? And then you're going to say negative 1/2. So what this becomes is 1 over 2 times the square root of x minus 2. Okay, well, if you put in x equals 2, you're going to get 1 over 2 times 0. And this is 1 over 0. It's undefined. Therefore, this is not differentiable. At 2. Choice A. For number 12, this is the start of the problem. They give you the integral of e to the square root of x over square root of x dx. They tell you let u equals the square root of x. So now, if I do du dx, I essentially have 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. That's because this is the same as x to the 1/2. I have du equals dx is 1/2 times, basically, this is like saying 1 over the square root of x dx. This should be du equals 1/2 times 1 over square root of x dx. So now when I come over here, I'm going to split this fraction so the numerator times 1 over the denominator. Okay, so basically what you have here, I want to replace this with my du. The good news here is that I can say e to the u, right? This is going to replace with a 1/2. Okay, but when you insert that, you have to multiply 2 on the outside. This is e to the u du with 2 to the outside. Now, unfortunately, what we have to do is we have to change our boundaries. And how we do that is, if the original ones were 4 and 1, we're going to go back to our, since we're kind of doing it in terms of u now, we're going to go back to our square root of x, and we're going to plug in the top boundary of 4. So you have square root of 4. And then we're going to plug in our bottom boundary of 1. So you get 1. So now these are our new boundaries in essence. So you have square root of 4, square root of 1, e to the u du. This is choice letter C, because square root of 4 is 2, square root of 1 is 1. Du, choice C. On page 13, or excuse me, number 13, they're looking for you to find the integral of this piecewise function. Essentially what that is the area under the graph. So the area of this rectangle here is 2 by 2, so this is 4. This is also a 2 by 2. This is 4. Now I'm going to do the area of this triangle. So it looks like the height is 2. It looks like this is 2. So 1/2 base times height, you get 2. So I'm going to add all three of these areas up. 4 plus 4 plus 2 is 10. This should be choice D. The easiest thing I can come up with for 14 is that if this is a composition function, so basically I'm going to plug in my g of x into my f of x. So I have 3x minus 2 squared minus 4. And then what I'm going to do is expand that. Simplifying, I get 9x squared minus 12x. So now what I want to do is I want to find the derivative. So I'm going to say 9x squared minus 12x to the 1/2. So y prime should be 1/2 9x squared minus 12x to the negative 1/2. What that means is I'm doing 1/2 times 1 over square root of 9x squared minus 12x. So what I'm going to do is plug in x equals 3. So I get 1/2 times 1 over 9 times 3 squared minus 12 times 3. 1/2 times 1 over 81 minus 36. You should have 1 over 2 times the square root of 45. One key component that I forgot to include here is that when I'm finding the derivative, I have to do the derivative of what's inside. So you should have 18x minus 12. Okay, so and then we also have to take into consideration 18 times 3 minus 12. So you should get 42. So what we have here is 21 over 2 square root of 45. They probably want you to reduce this, so you should have 21 over 2 times square root of 9 square root of 5. Basically, you should have, this is 3, oh, excuse me, 2 goes into 42. This 2 shouldn't be here anymore. I apologize. So you should have 21 over 3 square root of 5. Those simplify, and you have 7 square root of 5. This is choice A.